For some time, the loss was so big that I was devastated on a personal level. I could not work. My family was impacted. Eventually, we were looking to sell our account. So we ping. I think there were probably 1-2 people involved at the time, and we discussed a little bit. And the price that they offered to me seems very low.
Do you mind disclosing the claim value? Or?
It was several millions.
And it was all in crypto essentially, so which is actually 10 times more now.
Yeah.
Just for viewers. Yeah.
One Bitcoin then was 16,000. Today it's 125,000. So times.
Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to talk to one of the heroes of the Sam-bankman-fried story, one of the millions of victims of the $40 billion FTX fraud. The real heroes are those who lost their life savings overnight, but stood up to fight for justice and speak the truth about the FTX fraud. By the way, I'm Sunil Kavuri. I've been investing in the cryptocurrency market for over 10 years now. I lost 1.8 million pounds to the FTX fraud. You may have seen me on FTX documentaries such as the BBC Panorama, the Tucker Carlson documentary, the CNBC documentary, the Financial Times. I am joined today by Federico, a star trader with a seasoned career working on trading desks. Previously, before entering the cryptocurrency market, he worked at a hedge fund. He is an FTX creditor and a supporter. Before that, I would like to thank our sponsors today, Paradex, a decentralized exchange, but we will hear more about them later in this episode. Make sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on. Hi, Federico. How are you doing? Good to see you today.
Good to see you. I'm doing very well. Yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. Excellent. Thanks for joining me today. So, I just gave a little bit of an introduction, but I would love to, before we get into, your crypto trading and obviously what happened with FTX and what we are doing now, let's take a step back and how did you start your career? Where did you study and when did you enter finance?
Yeah, so my background is in traditional finance. Studied finance economics, first in Italy at Bocconi and then in London. After that, I joined a bank. I worked for not too long time because I liked the topic, but I didn't like the industry too much. So then I moved to the buy side for a hedge fund. Later on, moved to crypto full side as a builder initially. We tried to build a lot of stuff in DeFi because it was a very interesting space. It's still a very, very interesting space today. And later on, moved again to trading full-time crypto equity and everything which is, adjacent to the space.
When did you work at the hedge fund, or when did you move from, was it JP Morgan to the hedge fund?
Yeah, that's correct. So this was 7-8 years ago.
So, okay, got it. So in 2018 or so?
Something like that, yeah.
Got it. And then did you leave, were you trading at the hedge fund? Or?
Yeah. I was a portfolio manager for all delta neutral stuff, rates, volatility, trading the crypto basis, stuff like that, arbitraging.
Oh, you traded crypto when you were at the hedge fund?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize there were that many hedge funds trading in crypto back then.
It was quite small. It was mostly managed accounts because it wasn't hedge funds in the sense you can think of the various Citadel, Millennium and whatsoever. So we had a bunch of high net worth individual giving us API. We were plugging, exchanging and running strategies for them.
Got it. Do you remember some of your trades back in 2018 for the hedge funds? What were your favorite trades?
So there was a lot of very weird basis trades, because if you look at the basis today, it's less than 10% on the major stuff because it's very much a vanilla trade nowadays. But back in the time, it was nothing at all like that. You could trade Ripple basis. It was 40-50% annualized. You leveraged up 5-6 times on BitMEX. You pray
BitMEX back in the day.
You pray for the platform to not hunt or stop your liquidation.
Yeah. Yeah, Arthur Hayes. See?
Yeah. Hey, Arthur.
Playing the...
So it was mostly stuff like that. Then the market was still recovering from the hangover of 2017. So there was like a lot of ICO projects, which, they didn't have anything. So we were doing some opportunistic short over there. So, you long Bitcoin and you short these altcoins.
Yes. Okay.
And some of those projects still exist today. They still have no products after 8 years.
Yeah,
market cap for some reason is still high, but it's crypto.
Oh, that's crypto, yeah. Because I got into the space in 2016, and a lot of the money I made in 2017 on some altcoins, they're like the coins are kind of worthless now. I think people still talk about, was it Ant shares, or now it's called Neo, I believe. Ant shares back then, and then Verge, another one. I think my two biggest wins back then. Now they're like dinosaurs, but So you were essentially playing the spread between Bitcoin and the falls in Bitcoin relative to the alts. Got it, in 2018, and then when did you? And you carried on trading at the hedge fund. When did you leave the hedge fund?
So we spent there maybe a couple years, and after that, I didn't like the management too much. So our whole pod moved away from the company, and then a bunch of us, we transferred to Dubai. We relocated. So actually, with some of these people, we're still working together nowadays. And when doing all my things, with some university friends, we started building a DeFi application.
Oh, okay. So was that in 2021?
Yeah. Okay. There's some overlapping because,
of course. Yeah. Oh, okay. So do you remember any of your trades in 2021?
So from 2021, maybe that year and before it, we were doing a lot of stuff in the Terra Luna ecosystem.
Okay.
Which then blew up. We were doing a lot of stuff on FTX, which then blew up.
Of course.
we were doing a lot of Solana DeFi app, which then blew up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the issue, there was a lot of credit and liquidity in the ecosystem. Now today we understand where that liquidity was coming from, unfortunately. But ourselves as well, we were, let's say, obfuscated in our mind from, the whole FTX cabal, because for some time, we were in touch with them, we were speaking with them because we were building the Solana ecosystem. So, they were a strong supporter. We were there. We were building structured products on chain.
Oh, interesting. Wow. What kind of structured products were you kind of doing?
So the idea was to build a generalized platform where people could plug and play their payoff and any kind of oracle and trade in a one-to-one setup. But we didn't see really any demand for that because it was too complex. It's still too complex today. We don't see a lot of demand for this kind of stuff from retail customer. We see people like meme coin stuff where they can go 50x with thousands of dollars, and that's still the case today. That's why Perp exchange are doing well, option protocol are not doing well on chain.
Yes, exactly. Because I think I was actually on the structured products desk at Deutsche Bank. So that was in 2006-07, and I recall, Deutsche Bank was the biggest back then with BNP Paribas in structured products and very complex derivatives. And after 2008, all liquidity dried up, and essentially, I don't think the market has ever been the same. And I can imagine that crypto is far behind that. So, that's interesting. So basically, you didn't see much demand in the structured products, but then you were trading on FTX. What attracted When did you start trading on FTX, and why did you get attracted to?
So according to my customer code, I was probably one of the first 10,000 users in the first batch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think at the beginning it was, like mostly following the SBF cult on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was the time where, if this guy mentioned a certain ticker, you want to buy.
Yeah.
And I remember like we were buying Solana at single digits. We were buying FTT at single digits. So we were very, very early on the platform. We see it going from, when basically it was like one front end and the trading book to whatever it was some years later.
Yes, exactly. Right. So that was before his infamous, I'll buy all of your Solana at $3. Yeah.
I think the day of that tweet, I rotated all the portfolio from BTC to Sol.
Solana. Okay. So $2.9, $3.
Something like that. Yeah. Didn't take
well. I think that I got in Solana early as well, but then I sold out a bit quite quickly, unfortunately. I think I had at one point about 30,000 Sol early on, and I sold out it too early. But I guess you had significant amount. What did you have? What was the largest amount of Solana you had back then?
I think at a certain point it was 1% of the network.
Wow.
Something like that, close to 1%.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Today it wouldn't be that amount because there was like a huge inflation from block tokens and from everything else. But at the time it was close to that.
Oh, so 1% of the tokens.
Circulating supply at the time.
Circulating supply. Wow, that's incredible. And then, did you, talk me through the 2021, your experience trading on FTX and generally your rapport and conversations with FTX and the team.
Well, it was mostly about they were pushing and pumping their bags as much as they could. So, for example, the moment Solana has liquid stake tokens like MSOL, LidoSol, and they support it, like we were basically wrapping all our token, staking them, so we could have like our collateral accruing staking rewards at the same time, trade with that. And there were like a lot of cool stuff that you could do in the DeFi ecosystem, with there was like a lot of farming, some stuff, you could farm at 1000% APY, putting $1 of capital, which was crazy. You still find it today, maybe somewhere, but it's not lasting as much as it used to be. And FTX was really cool because they had basically like this all cross collateral system, which we still haven't figured out if, it was working because basically the backend was good or, because they were taking all the position. But still today, there isn't an exchange that has a UX, which is as simple and as, I would say, working well as they used to do.
Right. I mean, the user interface was incredible. And I guess you speaking with the team may develop trust for you, I guess, which attracted you to keep trading on the exchange and
very quick feedback loop. You say, hey guys, I think this should be done in a different way. 48 hours it's there.
Interesting.
Wow. Some competitors, they're assembling banks today. So, you give a feedback, maybe 6 months later, nothing changed.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that was really true. I mean, the FTX, the interface, everything was so smooth, and you have to separate Alameda from FTX and its fraud, whereby stealing customer deposits was, separate to what FTX was.
Yeah. Look, if you take any competitor exchange today, the top 3, for example, and you look at the UX, it's so complex. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Me too. I know. It's so true. It's so true. I'm like confused about what it's true. And then it's the same, like Binance is the same as it was in 2017.
Yeah.
It's literally the same platform. There's not, and every other exchange is based on Binance from 2017. So definitely for me, FTX set itself apart from being a user-friendly interface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These platforms don't have much incentives to improve. Like the market share is 95%. It's like the same players, and the user base is kind of sticky. There isn't really like any competitor going for them. An exception is, for example, like Hyperliquid. Like, in the last year, they went from 0 to wherever they are today. And some people are actually starting to fear Hyperliquid today, but otherwise,
yes,
kind of
exactly.
oligopoly.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk more about that because I think that the increase in the DEX market share is a direct result of the FTX fraud. Because before FTX, centralized exchanges was where you would custody your funds. Hyperliquid came up because of the FTX fraud. I would like to thank Paradex, the decentralized crypto exchange who is sponsoring this episode. Decentralized exchanges avoid you giving control of your crypto to a centralized exchange. You remain in control of your private keys, not the exchange. This means your crypto always remains in your control, so avoids the risk of FTX type fraud. Paradex's vision is to be the everything app for crypto. Spot, perps, options with deep liquidity, self-custody, and capital efficiency. Trade 250 markets on a super exchange with better than centralized exchange liquidity, institutional grade privacy, all on a fast blockchain. Paradex has a number of exciting features for traders to use, such as vaults. Vaults are where you can deposit your capital to generate passive income. Paradex has their own vault with $50 million locked up, and user community-led vaults would generate a return based on their investment strategy. But remember guys, crypto futures options are risky. Always do your own research before investing and only invest what you can afford to lose. This is not intended to be financial advice, and always consult a professional about your local country rules and with your regulators. So 2021 was going well, and then what did you in 2022? Did you change your investment strategy? I guess you sold out a lot of your Solana, or how did it go in 2021?
Not really, because the investment thesis on that specific trade, as well as the FTT position, was long and strong.
Okay.
Very crypto trade, either it goes to zero or it goes to the moon.
Hold.
Yeah.
Hold.
Unfortunately, it took the wrong outcome in
Yeah.
the binary tree.
But it's interesting because I do look at the technicals, and I recall back in 2022, I noticed significantly that FTT token. I know now we know the reason, because he would use customer deposits to hold the value up and ensure nothing is sold. But or even when market was collapsing, FTT would never drop. So it was like, it didn't drop below like $18 or something. It was supported at a certain level, and we know why, because he obviously wanted to ensure that level. So yeah, it was very interesting now looking back on the movements of the prices when basically
in Insight, also talking about FTT, there was some unusual movement in the funding rate, which at the time, I didn't focus too much on explaining myself, okay, why is there such unusual funding on FTT compared to other exchanges? But in Insight, it made sense, because, the cost of propping up a token is different, whether you are bidding the spot or the perpetual. So I think that explained a lot of like these different bases on the platforms.
Oh, yeah, actually, could you go into more detail regarding that and give us some numbers? So just for our viewers and generally to educate everyone about this.
Well, usually when you trade perpetual, you have a funding rate, which is a number used to keep in track the price of the derivative with the underlying. So a stupid example is if the price of coffee is 100 and a perpetual future on the coffee is 101, so 1% more, you will pay money to hold a long position on the perpetual because shorts are incentivized because the correct price of the perpetual instrument would be 100, but it's trading higher. So essentially, like the perpetual has to converge. The funding rate is the mechanism that keeps the two in place. And a lot of people don't follow it, but it's very important, especially if you're trading position at high leverage, because one basis at leverage 10 every 8 hours, you end up paying 130% of your position every year. And, that's such that it's expensive to carry a trade overnight.
Right.
So watch it out.
Yeah. So when there's a huge demand for the long positions, funding rates generally go up.
Yes.
And then what happened with FTT and the anomaly? What happened that you can talk us through that?
Well, usually like the different perpetual instruments on different exchange, they trade in line. So it's difficult to have, on the same instruments, very high funding on one and very low funding on the other. And with low, I mean positive on one side and negative on the other because it gets arbitraged usually. But FTT, I remember it was very negative on FTX and nobody really was stepping up to basically bring it back. And it was a market where you could put on large position. So nobody was willing to take that risk. And in hindsight, I thought that, some large desk knew something, the market knew something, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah. So the funding rate was high on FTX or on FTT or FTX?
FTT, it was basically positive everywhere else, but on FTX.
It was okay. Or it was negative on FTX.
Negative on FTX. So basically it would pay to, if you were long spot FTT, you could sell that and basically buy the perpetual.
Got it. Interesting. And then no one wanted to, close the spread.
Correct.
Interesting.
Nobody was willing to close the spread. Whereas today, very different market, but it's very difficult to see this kind of position. Whereas the last week, this was going on for 2-3 weeks before the FTX bankruptcy.
Got it. Understood. Right. And was that just 2-3 weeks before the bankruptcy, or did that? Did that occur throughout 2022 or at different times?
It occurred for sure throughout 2022, but it was being closed very quickly. The last weeks, it was very persistent and very rewarding.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was doing that trade, but in fact, I was collecting pennies in front of a steamroller.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I guess is it the same thing? I remember a few weeks before the FTX bankruptcy, they increased the yields on a lot of the cash.
Yes. There were higher yield on some. I think, for example, on Tron, the token, and the other ecosystem. Basically, they were trying to attract some capital.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So for our viewers, essentially, it's a sign of bankruptcy stress when the exchange increases the yield. So they want to attract customer deposits from other exchanges because there's a hole to fill.
Yes. For example, so this trade is very common. Is the trade that Ethena does, for example, also on other token. But I think a couple months ago, there was the rumor that HTX was raising the interest on Shark Tank tokens. Yeah. Obviously, it's just a rumor, but...
but it's, it happens a lot, right? Yeah, so... And then what, I guess a lot of your team, you guys had significant holdings on FTX. And was it mostly in Solana or on
BTC, Solana, FTT, like a conservative portfolio.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I had majority was BTC ETH, but
Yeah.
it's and talk me through. Were you on Twitter back then, or when did you hear about the rumors of FTX going down?
So at that time, we were actually in Portugal, in Lisbon, because there was the Solana Breakpoint conference. And I remember probably like 24 or 48 hours before, there was actually the FTX party. And there was some exuberance. There were some rumor, but we classified them as rumor. Actually, like the funny thing is, like we got some messages from people, hey, would it be better to move the capital? And we're like, why not? Because again, before that, we spent time with the guy from FTX. A couple months before, we see on stage, this guy, Sam, with the former UK Prime Minister, with the former US President. And it's very difficult to imagine in your head, hey, this guy is actually like finessing us in some way. And that made us basically reconsider our whole thought process. Like there isn't nothing that is too big to fail ever. Even Binance can fail one day.
Yes, exactly. 100%. I mean, we both lived it, that we just couldn't imagine it, that he would be, Sequoia, all these VCs, Temasek, BlackRock, the largest institutions in the world backing FTX over Binance and other exchanges. And Sam was the one who was the biggest fraud of them all. So now that's saying a lot for crypto market, but it's it's what happened. I mean, it's obviously been a while, but I mean, it was a very difficult time for all of us. And what did you do? Yeah, walk me through what happened when it went bankrupt. Did you I guess you come on Twitter but were you on Twitter before that? Or?
Yeah. I've been a long time on Twitter. I have an anonymous profile. I used to tweet trades and stuff, which I mean, I cannot disclose on the podcast, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's one of those large Twitter profile that, not a KOL, but like I like to write my stuff over there and speak with people.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then you realized, so some situation occurred, and then because I remember during that time, and I know we reconnected quite early on in the process, but I recall when I'd never used Twitter before, and I recall during that time I was looking for victims, and everyone was like basically just making victims feel really bad, like they were stupid, and everyone else knew, because all these KOLs and all these influencers, they claim they're big traders, but none of them magically lost on FTX, because basically they're not big traders, and they just show their P&L screenshots, or they took their money out. Some of them took their money out, but generally we know who are the biggest guys who lost money, and then none of them are the big,
Look, everybody was trading on FTX. It was exchange number 2. Especially the people that were telling we were not on FTX. Those were trading on FTX the most. They were hit on FTX by the most. I remember an announcement by Genesis or Celsius. They said we were not impacted by FTX. See what happened later.
They were, exactly.
Yeah. So especially when somebody tells you I'm not involved in that, they are involved in that.
They're involved in that. Exactly. Yeah. It's true. It's so true. So it's I mean, I think it took a while to connect with everyone, but it was it brought us all together, and I think that standing up and fighting and for the real victims, which brought us all together. And since then, I guess we've got some of the money back. And have you continued? trading? Did you continue to trade after that, after the FTX incident?
Yes and no, because for some time the loss was so big that like I was devastated on a personal level. Like I could not work. My family was impacted. So for some months, I could not work or do anything at all. We had to let a lot of people go because we had the company funds on FTX, personal funds. So it was like a disaster. Eventually, we were looking to sell our account to somebody else to keep the company going. And that's when we looked at the option, how can we sell our claim and basically try to extend the runway of the business. So we ping, I think there were like probably 1-2 people involved at the time. And we discussed a little bit, and the price that they offered to me seems very low because there are already like some ideas about what assets are still there and what assets.
When was that, by the way? If you don't.
So these were probably like 4-5 months. So that would be March, April 23.
Yes. And you don't mind do you mind disclosing the claim value, or do you?
It was several millions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And we realized the price they offer us is very little because...
And it was all in crypto essentially, so which is actually,
correct.
10 times more now. So just for viewers. Yeah.
Yeah. One Bitcoin then was 16,000. Today it's 125,000. So nearly 10 times.
And Solana was then $16, and now it's $240. So
probably if I had Ethereum at the time, I would not be so sad.
Exactly. I had got a bit of Ethereum, so okay. I got out lucky.
Ethereum is one of our favorite shorts. So even now.
I recall that time when actually that was one of my first tweets. It was in December 2022, and I told because FTX, all these claim buyers were coming on Twitter saying you're going to get 5-10 cents on the dollar. And my first tweet was, at the bankruptcy hearing, we've already heard John Ray say that 5 billion loans was given to Sam-bankman-fried, to all the management team. So we know that they've already can trace this money. So if it's at least we're going to get 50%. I mean, that's like, it's a definite. And then you add the VC portfolio. So I recall that was actually one of my first tweets because everyone was saying you were going to get 5-10 cents on the dollar. I said, impossible, because we already know it's like 50%. So maybe most people hated me for that. I mean, claim buyers all the day, creditors like me, okay. So that was April 2023.
And actually, I think, like Sunil, I want to say thank you because you are one of the first person to rally everybody else to stay together, support each other, and provide a concrete support to users. I mean, thanks for that.
Oh, thank you. And actually, thank you and the whole community, because I've said this many times, but to be honest, I think me doing that and just having the support of all you guys actually helped me get through it. And it's, I know I get a lot of good, beautiful messages from people saying that I supported them, but it goes two ways. I think it gave me a way of getting over the loss by helping and bringing everyone together. And and I think in the end, I think it was probably worth it. Meeting you, of course, it's worth it.
Thank you. Mutual.
Awesome. Okay. So take me back to what happened then. So you looked at the claims and then you decided to hold on, or?
Well, not only we decide to hold on, but we see, hey, these guys are offering us this amount, but we think the actual account is worth at least twice as much. You know what? I'm not going to sell. I'm going to buy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we completely flipped. And we started buying FTX claims from other people.
Oh wow. And that started in, was that April, May 2023?
I need to look in the docket,
Yeah.
but it wasn't, if not May, maybe like 2 or 3 months later, just like
No
the time
way.
to
So
recollect
very
the
early
thoughts, collect some capital, and we started buying very aggressively.
Okay. And did you get some LPs or to with your network? Will you start buying
with very, very few limited partner, we collected, because at the beginning we were buying small size, and today we do have more LP than back in the past.
Wow. Because it's quite a extensive manual process as well, as particularly back then. You had to check the claims. I'm sure there's a lot of scams and people saying that they have claims and
Actually, in this process, all the risks are skewed to the buyer, because the buyer pays first, and the process is very cumbersome. You need to interact with Kroll. You only get an answer from Kroll after 20, 30 days. There is like a lot that can go wrong, and you only have very limited resources to check that the account is legit, that the seller is legit, that they have adequate source of fund to prove that the money that is not coming from, sanction stuff or like stealing or whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess back then as well, you started buying claims early on. So what, did you get people to do KYC or the requirements? I know that some of those requirements came later. So I think that some of the early trades, getting in touch with the sellers, it's been difficult.
At the beginning, it was like a shot in the dark at what you would have to ask the seller, because I didn't know what was required. I didn't know what were the pre-distribution requirements. The portal wasn't even working most of the time.
Oh, yes.
I think it was maybe like step 1 and step 2 were active.
Yes.
So you wouldn't know what they ask in the KYC. So it was like very, very risky.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I can imagine. It was trading it's only like, what was it, 50 cents of the dollar, I guess?
I think like the first we bought were maybe like 40 cents on the dollar.
40, yeah, exactly. Back then it was quite low. And it was quite a big risk, because, there's a lot of scams. You don't know if the claim is real. You don't even know.
Yes. Yeah. But look, also something I want to say is that a lot of people think that claim buyer are bad actor. But what I tell to customers is that, look, think about your opportunity cost. If you're choosing between I receive this money and I buy crypto, my suggestion is it makes sense for you to buy crypto. So sell your claim today. And everybody that did this outperformed the market, because an FTX account is basically debt, an obligation. Your upside is capped, maybe to 120 or 140 or a bit more if you have higher expectation, but you're going to get these over 5-6 years.
Yes.
If you're going to buy Bitcoin, this upside is unlimited.
Exactly.
You get the money today.
And I think that I think there's a difference, because I think that you can't put all claim buyers in the same basket. I don't want to name names, but I think the key is like obviously you're not, but you're a very good actor, so that's why I love you, Federico.
Thank you.
You lost money, so but I think that there's a difference between doing claim buyers who FUD and don't tell the truth, because there's asymmetric information. So when I first got involved, I saw a lot of people, some claim buyers, but some just general, everyone's very depressive anyway. They were saying they're only getting gonna get 10 cents on the dollar in the future, so sell to me. So which is obviously, I know these actors and I'm not in touch with them, or I don't discuss with them. So, but that's a bad actor, because they're doing that in order to, but I believe it claim buyers like yourself, you're honest, and the reason is for liquidity, and there's currently restricted jurisdictions, and it's difficult to get, and it's good for the seller as well, because they're able to get their funds, because in sanctioned countries, it's, like Russia, it's out of our control. It's not, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
or some people, they have maybe $1,000 on their account. We are giving liquidity to them as well. And I know for a fact no one else is doing this because it's not economically viable for a large fund to do this, but we do it because I understand how it feels to be on the other side. So to these people, like, we're buying their account at the same price, basically.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, I think that, like some of the guys, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 you've been buying from restricted jurisdictions such as Russia, they're so grateful. In fact, obviously, not for, I mean, it's not economical for you, and certainly for me, I introduced them just because to help them, but they're after the messages. They're really, really happy just to get, some money out, because after 3 years and being in Russia and sanctioned jurisdictions, with a small claim.
Yeah.
So it's, so have you been focused mostly on this side, or have you been doing some trading now?
Yeah. So at the moment, and in the last 2 years, that FTX trade and the claim took a lot of our time. Now we are able to get some free resources. So we are moving into liquid strategies again. So we are getting more active in trading again, finally.
Oh,
which is a completely different
it's
trade.
Completely different. Yeah. And what's your focus on the liquid strategies? Can you talk me through your strategy and what kind of things are on the horizon?
Well, we're doing very similar trade to what we were doing on FTX some years ago. So basically trading the basis, trading the funding on different platforms. And we try to maybe focus on those platforms where complexity, creates opportunity. So for example, the first 10 days of Aster, the perpetual exchange on Binance Smart Chain, there weren't, many traders there yet, but there were like a lot of opportunities. We tried to be one of the first there to, provide liquidity on the perpetual, meaning selling the perpetual, buying the spot token, getting the funding.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So you've been doing that mostly on, you do a lot of the decentralized exchanges, I guess, with that.
Well, exchanges, I don't know how decentralized they are.
Aster, owned by CZ, a decentralized exchange.
No, but okay.
Yeah.
Not only Aster has this problem, like
hyper liquid. Yeah.
Also hyper liquid.
It's true. And Paradox, our sponsors, claim not to be. I'm sure they're not. The decentralized exchange. Yeah. So
we are getting ready to trade there as well.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah, no, it would be great to have you on board. And of course, they're founded, Arnaud, but they're founded by FTX creditors, so have promised a airdrop to FTX creditors. I think that was one of my main pushes, which unfortunately didn't occur, but I'm trying to restart FTX with a equity position for FTX creditors because of how much we lost, because I still believe that the most valuable asset which FTX had were FTX creditors, and ultra high net worth, trade a lot. I mean, so I think I believe any exchange should or would love to have FTX creditors as traders, and hopefully Paradox can be one of the ones which can benefit. So will you be selling perps, buying a spot, trade the basis on?
Sometimes the opposite. That's still a good trade today. Not as good as it used to be because you have huge players like Ethena making the same position basically, or commoditizing the trade basically.
Oh, right. Okay. So Ethena, could you give just for our viewers, Ethena is a large fund or
Ethena is a protocol. Basically, they created this stable coin, USD, and their proposition is you give them $1 they use this dollar to do this trade. So buy the spot, short the perpetual to get some yield, and they redistribute the yield to people that have the Ethena stablecoin.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess they're doing it, we're in size and
yeah, they do it with billions because they have billions of TVL. So a basis trade on large pair like Bitcoin or Ethereum today doesn't make a lot of sense as it used to do.
Right. Which I guess has led to a compression of the spreads and less
compression of the spread, convergence of the funding rate between the different venue, which is such that if you want to extract more yield, you need to push on the frontier, meaning new exchange, lower quality tokens, and or better execution.
Okay, got it. Awesome. This really, really great conversation. Yeah, no, thank you, Federico, for joining. And I guess we talked a bit about the liquidity you're providing for restricted jurisdictions. But any words you'd like to say about what else?
Well, we invite all users that still have an FTX account to consider whether it makes sense, to them what to do next. Should I sell my claim to buy crypto, or should I keep to my bond? We invited them to consider the financial situation, what they want to do with it. And we are happy to have a conversation with customers from all over the world, not only from restricted jurisdiction in person or over the phone. To some people, we are also offering our payment service provider solution, where basically, if you're coming from a restricted jurisdiction, we transfer the account to us, we fight for you, and we remit to you the capital from FTX. We did this with several customers from the previous round of distribution, and they were super happy because they just pay a small commission, but they get their money. They don't have to sell their account today.
Oh, interesting. So, and then what was the? How was it because you were obviously you have your own legal team and you were able to fight FTA? What was the main reason that people, because of KYC issues, or what was the main reason?
Well, it could be like number one, KYC. Number two, they trust us. Number three, we have a bigger bargaining power with FTX. Because we basically have a whole portfolio of accounts. We're able to have a conversation with them and reach them out perhaps more easily than a user with a small claim, let's say 10,000 can do. So I think this is like a very strong selling point for users.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining, Federico. And
wow, we spoke for 50 minutes. Time has passed.
I know, time passes. I know. With friends, it goes so quickly. So it's it's really enjoyable. And look forward to seeing you in London, or I'll see you in Dubai, where hopefully we'll get to. And everyone follow Federico. I'll have a link to his Twitter and his company account. And thanks again. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Sunil.
Okay,
have a good one and have a good market for the next month.
Okay, thanks. See you soon. Okay, bye-bye.